Joining me now is Iowa Associate Head Coach Jan Jensen. Jan, what's your initial impression of Louisville just from watching the game yesterday?
Good, really good. I mean, you kind of been watching them all year long, and they've really improved. They're hitting it at the right time, and they're just really challenging because they press a lot and they have a lot of different presses. A team like Ohio State, they had one type of press, and you could prepare. Jeff Walls, great coach, and he just throws a lot at you. So you got to be able to have different breakers for it. And then they're just really big. They're strong. They're physical. So they're just a good team, as they are in the Elite Eight, right?
It feels like that's how teams attack you, right? They come in, we're going to out-physical Iowa. We're going to come in and push them around. You guys have not been pushed around at all. You've matched physicality every step of the way. What goes into that?
Well, we're more of a skilled finesse team, and so we have to have our offense pretty much humming. So what people do to kind of counter that is just beat the heck out of you. And if just like anything in life, if you get the right refs, the right combination, if nothing's called, we're going to be in trouble because we don't have the bodies just to go back at you and be really typically physical. So if they let it go really, really, really physical, it's going to be disadvantageous for us. Usually we'll get a little feisty just enough to counter. I think McKenna Warnock is our heart and soul of that. I think she just battles. She does the dirty work. She's going to get the rebound. She's going to come back into you. Monica, I thought, showed up pretty big that fourth quarter last night. So we can get there. Our mindset's usually there, but sometimes our physical body types aren't enough to match. And so we just need a typical game called. I'm not asking for favors. I just think sometimes in tournament play, all of a sudden the rules that you had all year are like all bets off. And as an aside, I think Caitlin gets hammered a lot, and she doesn't, really get a whole lot of calls during the year. So she's usually a little more ready for everything that could happen to her.
I was going to ask you, if a player's getting frustrated over the way a game's being called, what's your message to them to try and block it out a little bit?
Well, you work the whole year long, and I actually talk with my own kids about this, is you just have to control the controllables. And we have to work on that as coaches too, is we cannot control that. Right away you can see how a game's being called, so you got to adjust. And if you can be mad and you can scream, and as coaches we're going to have our moments and try to sway, but overall you got to adapt. And I think so often in life we try to control the uncontrollables, just like the weather. You're so mad you want to go to the zoo and it's raining, and then you don't even enjoy parts of the zoo that don't involve the weather. Right? When you go into where the gorillas live, there's no rain, but you're just so mad that it's raining. You know what I mean? It's control the controllables. So that's what we try to do as coaches. We fail too sometimes, but with our players, that's what we try to emphasize.
Seems like you guys have had an answer for everything that's come your way. A team goes on a run, you punch back. You've never let a game get out of control. What does that say about the emotional maturity of this team to always stay that composed?
Yeah, we are proud of them with that. I just think, we have that ultimate goal. And this team also really, really loves each other. And they want to stick around. They want to keep playing. But I think, as seasoned as they are from last year to this year, the highs, the lows, is they've learned a lot. And they're able, in the course of the game, for the most part, to, try to redirect the course. But every step gets a little harder. And I think what we, faced the last 4 or 5 games of the season, 6 maybe going back to Indiana, is prepared us, for the moment tomorrow. But it's just, there's 2 great teams playing tomorrow. And it's, probably both teams deserve to get there ultimately, but only one can. So it's, we're going to have to lean on all of that mental resiliency, the mental toughness, control the controllables. We got to have our shots, and, we got to play our defense well enough and box out well enough to somehow get that win.
Sorry, Brett, last question. What would a Final Four appearance mean to this team? First time in 30 years for this program.
Well, every kid who plays dreams of the Final Four. Every coach who coaches, right? And it's rare to get there if you're not a blue blood, like the Connecticut's, and now Dawn Staley has made South Carolina a blue blood. So it would mean the world, right? And I would love it so much for Lisa Bluder because she is so one of the good ones in it. I mean, she just has had a career that has, started out at, driving the bus and got in it for all the right reasons, has stayed in it for all the right reasons. So, as her coworker, but as, her best friend or one of her best friends, that would be awesome. But by the same token, I don't think it's fair to say that will define this team or will define Lisa or define our staff, because it's really, really, really hard to do. But I would love it, and it would mean, I think, a ton for our alumni, the university, the state, and certainly Coach Bluder.